back into it. Don't know, I don't think we'll finish today, but maybe Monday. We're getting close though, because we're in Act 4 and there are 5 acts. It's just hard to know how much is in each act, because there have been some that are shorter and some that are longer. This one is proving to be a little longer and a bit slower, which isn't a bad thing. I forgot to put my mic right in front of me. But we're on Act 4, Scene 6, and we're in a grove, and we've been riding along the Echo River. Oh, you have to choose one? This is Kate and this is Ezra. Do you have to choose between them? This one looks like a memory. This one looks like what's actually happening. Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Pleurocypella porgens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate, springy texture and they're tasty, like sweet moss. Oh, maybe we don't have to choose between them. Would you like a bite? Okay. Ezra takes a small bite and ruminates. You know what? I forgot to change my info. P5. I am not in it today. There we go. Okay. We good. What do you think? It does taste like moss. Personally, I like to be able to tell where my food came from by flavor alone. I like to taste my surroundings, I mean. Keeps me connected to the whole thing. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. Are we learning more words today? Define erudition. The quality of having or showing great knowledge or learning. Scholarship. I feel like I am very eruditious by playing this game because I am learning a lot of words. The more you know them, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Let's switch over here for a second. She lit a second... Hold on. She lit... No, that's not what I want. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of the hospital entrance. So she stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, See the sort of greenish pallor of the cap? Amanita phalloides. That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom, and phalloides means... never mind. But I can guess what it means. Can you eat it? Only once. It's deadly poisonous. Death cap, that's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary, huh? Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. It's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? Always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great. Look for... Actually, just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what you got. Have fun. That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? It is a little disorienting. Try to pay attention to both at once. But speaking of mushrooms and mushroom hunting, I had a professor in college. He was one of my art professors, who would go like foraging for mushrooms in the mountains nearby, and it always fascinated me. Like, I didn't realize people actually foraged for mushrooms that they eat, but I feel like you really have to know your mushrooms in order to not accidentally like gather and eat a poisonous one. Okay, so it looks like this half is Kate, this half is Ezra. Kate kneels in the grass. She parts the grass with her garden knife, studiously combing the ground. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. Gotta love it. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he considered it part of his job, she thought, to offer his customers some kind of counsel. That's still weird. Like, you're not... Hot dog vendors are not therapists. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside the hospital. There are no mushrooms in the grass. Let's go over here for a second. Ezra checks out a plastic bag washed up on the island. The bag is ragged and waterlogged. He nudges it with a stick, coiling up a plastic thread and spreading it out on the beach. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. But he liked to play in the woods behind the house. He'd taken a knife from the kitchen, selected for its long, serrated edge. Meant for slicing bread, its teeth had reminded him of a saw blade. He was determined to collect some firewood to heat the house. There are no mushrooms in the bag. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. It's a bit muddy from flooding or the general dampness of the caves. She finds two promising specimens, a spotted brown cap and a dense bundle of dark ridges. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupuncture, homeopathy, Ayurveda, magical thinking? She said she never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Ezra pokes around the base of a cypress tree. A brownish clump of mushrooms feathers out from the base of the cypress tree. A few feet above, several pale blue puffs cling to the trunk. The woods were full of deer. His dad said the deer liked best to live on the edges of forests. Recent development in the area had created a lot of fresh edges, so they massed here and sometimes ran into the road. Ezra examines the blue puffs. He prods one of the pale orbs with a stick, and it cracks open a little, releasing a fine dust into the air. Don't breathe it. He felt like the world outside the woods had somehow slipped away while he was gone, and now there was nothing but the woods. He kept going. Ezra carefully removes a puffball and puts it in his bag. Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. Kate inspects the dense bundle of dark ridges. Dark brown ridges and folds cover the surface of the mushroom. It has a pleasant, almost fruity smell. Kate plucks the mushroom from the dirt and puts it in her bag. Kate tries to wipe off some mud off her boot. Oh, you got one? Let's see it. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was the bird. Ezra hands Kate the blue puffball he took from the cypress tree. A blue puffball. Interesting. I don't think I've seen this exact species before. This one's too old to be of any use anyway. Puffballs get all dried out like this as they age until they're so delicate that it only takes the slightest agitation. Kate gently shakes the puffball. It bursts into a cloud of spores. And the wind does the rest. See? It's weakness as a survival strategy. Kind of radical, transformative weakness. I just found this one. Kate takes the dense bundle of dark ridges out of her bag. This one I can't really use, but I picked it just to show it to you. It looks a lot like a very popular eating mushroom around these parts called a morel, but it's not a morel. Kate slices the mushroom in half lengthwise. It's full of white fiber, the consistency of cotton. This is the easiest way to tell them apart. The real morel is empty. This one, the false morel, is actually kind of poisonous. I forget what its effects are exactly. Here, let's check the Vermeulen book. Kate flips through the pages of her guidebook. Okay, here it is. Symptoms include wanting to fight, demanding answers, dryness of eyes, nose, and lips, restless sleep. Dreams of flood, of rolling stones, accidents, people transforming into owls, vampires, rockets, and traveling to stars. Huh. That doesn't sound so bad, actually. Kate puts the mushroom back into her bag. So, you have a brother out there somewhere? Julian. He's going to come find me in the morning after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. We used to spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now we pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now. I have some new friends. Do you have a family? I left home when I was very young. Not much older than you, actually. I bounced around jobs and shelters and finally found my way down to the Echo River. Never looked back. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the Mucky Mammoth feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. What's this island for? Looks like someone made it on purpose. Oh, right. It's kind of a nice, simple shape, pleasantly minimal island geometry. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying, and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. I'm sure it could be natural, though. I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something? Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt. Ezra examines a large stone monument. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Ezra reads the text. It says, X plus O forever. Ezra investigates a cypress tree. The tree smells spicy, oily. This background noise is kind of freaking me out a little bit. Ezra inspects the bark. A message is carved in the bark. It's a mystery. I'll search for clues. She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Is it the bow? Is that what that noise is? I hate it, whatever it is. The message is carved in the bark. It's either Aussie or just OZY, not sure. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Oh, there's cats. Is that just like a whole cacophony of cats? I don't like that sound. Cats, please leave. Alright, what have you got? That stone face monument has X plus O forever on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hug and kiss forever? Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever. Xerxes and Oliver? What do you think that monument is for? Not sure anyone remembers. Somebody carved Aussie in that tree over there. Oh, What do you think that means? It's part of somebody's name, or it's short for something. Observe zero yaks. Old zebra yard. Ornery zoologist yacht. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it was a stretch. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like Guy said, I wish Will were here. He'd add some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. This cat boat is very bizarre. I'd argue one of the most bizarre things that has happened in this whole game. Kate and Ezra look up at an old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is, the Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. I don't know much about it firsthand, but I've heard things. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard. No people, I mean. There must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold. There were definitely cats making a ruckus. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the Echo. Hey, maybe there's some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back into the house, past the house, or not back into. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade with the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Someone told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. I definitely heard a strange wailing sound. She was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on a rowboat and got swept up by a current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive up close, but eerily silent. The only sounds, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull and a faint sort of, well, she said a chorus of mews. I know what she's talking about. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. I'd never even gotten close enough to the ship myself. More mysteries. They do pile up over time as people forget the details. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. Very nice. That Iron Pariah was terrifying. It's time to go. Where are we going next? See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks aren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Loch Lucks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with lock or luck or split the difference with look or even lick or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. This sounds like a romantic story. Billy Luck and W.H. Locke met in line at the DMV. Their driver's license photographs were mixed up by the clerk, a mistake they discovered immediately but never corrected. Their engagement was welcome news for the family businesses, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Lucks managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. The natural next step was to start a local paper, what would become the Echo River Evening Record. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Act 4, Scene 7. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. this is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So, you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for, cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Eka River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's the operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Salmonida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of, I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. Oh, keep that on. Wow, that is dark. I cannot see, like, anything. At least Blue's with us. What is this? Is that a person? It kind of looks like a person, but I'm not sure. Sign. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we will never find. And so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as a company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in, where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here a while. Sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. Do you think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are remembering. And I didn't even know it the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. That's a fine memorial, I guess. If we just drove around in the dark. Oh, great. Get out of here. Leave us alone. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Huh. Just sometimes I forget that I don't even really know you that well. Yeah, well, that makes two of us. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of those medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan, consolidated. What? When did you talk to them about that? Oh, they're around. They're pretty much everywhere you look on this river. You really haven't noticed? Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even for me? Hey, why not? Seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? And besides that, you're young and smart, plenty of time to bounce back from whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss Ira, Lizette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me, just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. Sure, I could keep an eye on it for you until you get it straightened out. Sure, okay. Sounds good. Visitors to the Echo River, Kentuckiana River Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. So just get naked. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The Kentuckiana river bat is confused by light. If you're using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Okay. We better be prepared to turn off our light, I guess. This looks difficult to navigate in a little boat. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, difference of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. I remember learning about this when I was in elementary school. Good old echolocation. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. Bug snacks. Talk about bug snacks. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. Sometimes it's hard to know with people, too. Oh yeah, like, how's the weather? I guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like. Find out if they're friendly or angry or drunk. If I am approached by a bat, I will turn off my light. Bat fact. The Kentuckiana River bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the Kentuckiana River bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentuckiana River bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Lethe. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute it throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. They eat fake moths? Yeah, hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths. The little gray nothing moth. Well, a lot of people eat fake food, right? Food taken apart and then put back together so it looks and tastes like something they remember eating before, even if they never really did. It kind of bothers me, like they're tricking the bats. Yeah, in this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, if that's the bottom line, what's the difference? Like the folks in the mine, you said they used to buy stuff, fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. Feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home and we can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach them. Oh, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. What is this? Look at that tree. A radio? White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through the winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it's highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentuckiana river bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. I'm also learning a lot more about bats than I thought I would. As you leave the Echo River, Kentuckiana River Bat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. back into emptiness. Is that like a tunnel? Are we entering or exiting a tunnel? I think we're entering a tunnel. I think. Oops. Flora. Let's talk to Conway real quick. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. I'll be careful. Oh, hi. I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. If that's what being a romantic means, then that's news to me. Really? What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Dashiell? Is that a person? It is a person. They just have a beard. A white beard. I thought it was like a bird person at first. Softly could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to ground. That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer would attach right before the wall jack. I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself, I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance. What did you come here for as a kid? I usually came here with my grandmother. We took the train out to the town she lived in, or in the other direction back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. Sometimes now I walk along the tunnel, run my hand along these wet stone walls, and close my eyes, ringing footsteps and the drip, drip, drip of the grainy stalactites, grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. Closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP, that's community television. I volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. Suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I guess she's probably not too popular on the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. That's romantic. Flora, that should be your thing. I mean, I guess it's already their thing, but that's a little more romantic than dark underground tunnels, I think. Is this a bar? Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? Laszlo Electronics. Ooh, must be my new patch cables and not a minute too soon. This one here is hanging on by a fiber. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office? Or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, I just met Dashiell. He's been working on that obsolete ringer. I tried to say obsolete and absolute at the same time. Obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while, actually. When they started restructuring, he was one of the first to go, but he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. Says it's to keep a long gap from growing on his resume, but I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work, you know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here, but there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois. I always think Lois. It's Lois. Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jana, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing. and they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private BPX. What is a BPX? They had Jana and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were never reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. I thought that was a bar, but maybe it's like just a switchboard, I think. Sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm impressed. So, where was I? Extended switchboard technique. It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded during doing too many calls in a row. With that upbeat, dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It's very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And, it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in your ear, so my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It's just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades, around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator lights switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate the timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. A couple days? That's what I said, but this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you just quit? In this economy? I don't blame you, Poppy. No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot, Doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. I sound like Dashiell, huh? Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Oh, great. I need them to stop showing up. It's freaking me out. Wait, where did Conway go? Is he on the boat with them? I don't know what those 2 options to the side were supposed to mean, so I just clicked the skull. Because it's more interesting than the arrow. Okay. I don't know where Conway went, unless he was one of those people. She returned on the dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work, the hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride a ways on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottomed skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 paddled, the 2 adults and the older child. The 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then for the last few hours by boat, hungry and tired. They didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in weary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She told them about the memorial. They were sympathetic. No minors in their family, but he was once injured at a warehouse job and had to fight for disability pay. They knew what these companies were like and what it was like to have to assert your humanity to them. They wished her well and paddled on toward West Virginia. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, Though it was so unpredictable and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving: a moment of silence. I appreciated that moment of silence. Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida is a bit of a local celebrity for her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back, or where's the old man anyway? I don't know. Where is he? He was suddenly gone. Bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. You just looked at my backlogged? Which ones are the bangers? I'm curious. I've got a lot of games on there. I have many games that I want to play, and I don't know if I'll ever get through that list, but because it keeps growing. It's kind of like my book list. I can't read fast enough either. How are you doing, by the way? It's good to see you. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Thank you. Okay, well, Hollow Knight is easily top 3 games of all time for me. I just finished Horizon Zero Dawn about a month ago and loved it. Horizon Zero Dawn has possibly the best story of any game I've ever played. Interesting. I've played, so I have finished Hollow Knight, and I definitely, I didn't think I would like that game, but because I've never really been like a Metroidvania type person, but that game is like I love it so much. I'm still working on the 112% on Hollow Knight. Horizon Zero Dawn I would like to play because it looks really cool, but I need a PlayStation to play it, so I may not get to it this year. Control, this was one of the best games I played this past year. I am very excited to play that one. I have it sitting in my Steam library, and I just have to decide when I want to play it. But I am also very excited for that game because it has, from what I've seen seen to the side. I haven't like watched a whole lot of it, but I've seen a few things here and there. It looks a little surreal as well, which I mean is my vibe. And Dream Daddy, yeah. I love a fun dating sim, you know. There are other good games too, but those are some of my favorites of all time. Cool. The atmosphere and world and control is amazing. Yeah, I've heard. I know it's kind of like a shooter too. I have only ever played one shooter game, and that was maybe like 2 months ago. I played BioShock for the first time, and it was fun. It was definitely a very different play style, so I feel like I'm definitely going to have to learn how to shoot for control as well. And I'm kind of apprehensive about that, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm more looking forward to the story. I suppose you could call it a shooter. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of shooters, but love control. Okay. Use powers more than the gun in control. Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind. Because I know it's not first person, but I know you do have like your gun as a weapon, and I know you do have a power. So yeah, I'll have to see whatever playstyle suits me. Auto aim too. Gotta love that auto aim. I will probably rely on that a lot as well. So, where's... He left. Oh, okay. I have to say, I didn't know him very well, but he seemed like the kind of guy who was always on his way to somewhere else. Yeah, different ways to play it. Yeah, I'm not one of those people who has to play on like nightmare mode or whatever to feel like I am good at the game. I mostly play games for stories, and while it's like fun to feel like you're like skilled at a game, technically, it's not really like what I try to focus on. So I'm like totally like cool with taking my handicaps, and I still have a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. All right, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. I've never been good at claw games. Good luck to Ezra. Yeah, for sure I'm the same way, especially if you're playing those games on stream. I think people generally prefer to just see the game played rather than see you die over and over. Yeah. To prove you can beat it on hard difficulty. Yeah, I think it just depends on like... I mean, I wouldn't personally, like, for my stream... I mean, I know going into that game, I will definitely, like, try to make things easier for myself so I don't overwhelm myself trying to play the game. But while it can be frustrating to, like, watch someone streaming and, like, failing over and over, I wouldn't adjust the like, game difficulty just because people think it's boring to watch fail over and over. But I bet there are people who do that, and I totally respect them for that. But I think I'm stubborn enough to be like, I don't care if you if you hate watching me fail over and over, I'm just going to keep going until I get it. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. The cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. It could be wrapped around something. Yeah. That's just how I personally feel, but what are you gonna try for? I want a yeehaw. Let's get a little cowboy hat. Sounds good. I hope we can get the claw back far enough to get a grip on it. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The hat is in the back right corner. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Got this, Ezra. Oh, I love that emote. Yeehaw. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. 8. Timer's at 8. The claw hovers in the front left corner of the machine. So where did we say it was? Back right corner. So let's go to the right. Ezra pushes the joystick right. 7. Claw hovers halfway across the front of the machine. Let's go right again. This is a weird way to play a claw game through like text. The claw hovers in the front right corner of the machine. So we need to go up to go to the back. The claw hovers halfway along the right wall of the machine. And then up one more. Joystick up. The claw hovers in the back right corner of the machine. So that's where we should be. I'm going to confirm with Johnny real quick. Does this look right? Yeah, looks good to me. Go for it. Okay, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ezra pushes the button to drop the claw. The claw drops, it grabs the hat. The claw is only able to get a hold of the brim. It's not a strong enough grip to pull the hat out of the machine. Aww. Sorry, kid. The hat would have looked good on you too. But I guess it's just too far back in that corner. Rip. Ezra would have looked sick in a cowboy hat. Hey, listen. Sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave. Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. I mean, sure he could be better, but I don't think we have to worry about him. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Me neither. You're in good company. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. Like what? I'm never gonna get over that robot sound. Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Oh, preserved. And look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This is someone's meal they didn't finish? I dare you to take a bite. Haha, you first. I feel like Ezra would get right on board. Okay. Whoa, oh, hold on. I'm just kidding. Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal. It must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about. Like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory? My folks left behind a bag of sunflower seeds, but I threw it away. I should have kept it, right? Oh, no, I didn't mean that, kid. You don't need to hang on to every little memento. I'm sure you still remember them just fine. Are you worried about them? No, they're gone. It's nothing to worry about. I just miss them. Okay, well, I don't know what the deal is with this table, but sometimes people do weird stuff because they miss someone. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck and delivery and all. It was, that's what she's saying. He just left it behind. But you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? Somebody's waiting for those antiques. Have you got a name or just an address? Maybe it doesn't matter, even having discharged all that whatever it is onto the lawn. I'm sure you still have fulfilled your friend's obligation. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So, how was everything? How's the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Leth that lives to 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. That is a long time. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. That sounds kind of shady, not gonna lie. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. I think she meant something from very deep in the lake. Could be. Hands Shannon the menu. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. Let's see. Salamander log, sweetwater cuttlefish spread, balsamic spinach. Shannon turns the page. She'd probably like crab and tomato cakes with Kentucky remoulade, mollusk cakes with orange butter sauce, aged blind cavefish, and small salad. Let's go with this one. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He gently compresses a pea-sized eyeball on the plate. The eye is hard, like glass. Oh, you like candied fish eye? Most kids are repulsed just looking at them, which is a shame because they're really delicious. I have a bowl of them in the kitchen. I'll bring some out. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Whose food is this? This is the diver's table, and this was the diver's meal. This food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything that was part of the problem. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped and frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, two young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said, over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leth alone. They'd been out all day salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck and had worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. Sat them right here and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. "Ida," he said, kind of frantic, "these divers are still hungry. Bring them another course." And I said, "They already ordered the whole menu." Sam said, "Make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing out food." So I did until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. It was good, inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all the ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, "Let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it." But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success and our expanded menu inspired Sam, too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I'd better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. Sounds like there were some really unique dishes going around that night. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day, the one and only. Uh-huh. So, what are you? You look like, well, some kind of fish, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like sort of buttery. Well, that should be just fine. Skin feels like sandpaper. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Butterfish. Welcome to Sam and Ida's, the one and only Butterfish. I hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You were pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except there were 2 divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway, I wonder? They ate here once, back in the bad old days. 2 young guys, could have been brothers maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so Ida just fried up something from frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and ask for more, and they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and, like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going on between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. Figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Leth. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see. For 15 years, I've been using routes these two young divers discussed right here, or right there at that table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would still make good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserve that table where they had their meals so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like, they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, Butterfish. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. Told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean. Each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from one of those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risks that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. When I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said the fridge would be. That's the end of Sam of Salmonitis. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. His story, I think, was more interesting than Ida's. A little more mysterious. Hey, Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what we can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I hit some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. Picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's the catch today? This here's a butterfish. Mopey, sandpapery old fish. I don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do they call it? Mouthfeel? You stay for drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee, I think we're about to leave, but thanks. Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, all right? We haven't had a musician in a while. Hi, Proto. My Thursday's been pretty good. Thanks for asking. How was your Thursday? Bin is a word. Sometimes it does look weird, though. I know what you're talking about. We're just vibing with this song right now. I've been good.
stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting there for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know
They're sailing away.
I have no friends.
I wish they could stay and just sing for the rest of the stream.
Heaven's not my home. Oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
There have been a few songs like that. They're all kind of sad, but they're all so good. And I want like a whole album of them. She returns to the tugboat. Where we go next? See that? It just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something. I think I see some desks and chairs swirling around the edge there. Those all-in-one desks like they have in schools, if I remember right. It's been a few years since I saw the inside of one. Something weird going on there with the trash in the middle of the lake. Recycle, people. Yeah, probably. Isn't there, like, in the ocean, isn't there, like in the IRL ocean, maybe the Pacific Ocean, isn't there, like, they call it, like, an island made of, like, trash, and it's all, like, plastic bags that have all just kind of, like, somehow stuck together and made like a full island that I don't know, maybe I think it's at least like 1 square mile or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I just like heard someone say that or if it's like actually a real thing, but that's what this kind of reminds me of. Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. Yeah. Some like huge trash island. I've also heard you know how they make like flushable wipes nowadays? I've heard that like they're not really biodegradable, so when you flush them they'll kind of collect together in the sewers and this is really gross, and they like create this thing that they call a fatberg, and it's kind of disgusting. Yeah, they are terrible. Yeah, like I think that's what it's called. Yeah, like an iceberg, but a fatberg. It's a rock-like mass of waste matter in a sewer system formed by the combination of flushed non-biodegradable solids such as wet wipes and fat, oil, and grease deposits. That sounds disgusting. Ugh. Gross. Humans are really gross when I think about it, and I try not to think about it too much because I just, well, anyway, there are people out there whose job is to study that. Yeah, so like, that's wild to me. Like, whenever I think about like some people's jobs and like what they study and research, and I'm like, you spend your whole life like researching that stuff and you don't get like tired of it. I mean, I'm sure there are people who do get tired of it, but like, it's wild to me. So I'm sure there are also people who don't get tired of it and they just love learning about that stuff their whole life long. Those must have washed down from somewhere. I've never known there to be a school on the lake. Oh, there was a Gemini School of Beauty. It was run by sisters Cassie and Paula, indistinguishable except for their haircuts. But I wouldn't think they'd have used desks like that. We used to stop there most every night to let someone off for a cheap haircut. Student stylists, you know? They spared many a sailor the pain of a botched do-it-yourself do. There was, near the university I went to, there was a Paul Mitchell school. And I remember going once to get a haircut from the student stylist there. And I also got a scalp massage. I didn't get like a full like fancy haircut. It was just like a little trim to get my split ends off. But that scalp massage, A+. Felt so good. But that's what I think of when I hear student stylists. Yeah, they are the bomb. My wife has done that a couple times with Paul Mitchell School. Yeah. I like was kind of skeptical going into it. Like, do I trust a student to cut my hair? But when I think about it, I definitely trust a student stylist who has more training than I do to cut my own hair. So, yeah. When I reframed it that way, I was good. But I guess they got in deep to the power company. Those blow dryers and curling irons burnt a lot of coal. It's a shame they had to close down. The haircuts are gone, but the hair keeps growing. Yeah, this Cutter Place makes a decent local museum. It's as good as history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. You can see more music. Act 4, Scene 9. There's a lot of scenes in this act. A neighborhood. Ooh, she has a theremin. That's cool. Play me some sweet theremin tunes. Yes. Oh, I love theremins. So my last haircut happened about 2 years back. I led a 15-day kayak trip and left my hair in a bun the entire time. At the end, I took my hair tie out and the bun just stayed there because it had been in the salt water that whole time. So my coworker just took a pair of trauma shears and cut off the whole bun. Holy cow. That's wild. I was on vacation a few weeks ago and I went to the beach a few times and like my hair was crusty enough after going to the beach just once. So I can't imagine how like stiff it would be after 15 days. That's wild. It was so bad. I can imagine. Oh. I remember this. I told you. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. She played at the flower shop. Cyrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so he just droned on the lap steel. He got really into it, and he went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. If you're ever on the ocean for more than a week, bring a brush, apparently. I mean, I bring a brush everywhere I go. Well, not like if I'm traveling, I don't bring a brush to like work, but like if I'm going somewhere for more than a day, I bring a brush. My hair is too long for that. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm, smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable, but I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week, so there'd be room to display the flowers. Wow, look at Ezra. He's wrapped. Yeah, he's really into it. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station. Sure, I haven't forgotten Cricket. Cool. Yeah, I know. And, what do you think about Ezra traveling with us for a while? We were in the back. Passing messages in code. We used a code of our own design, inscrutable to observers, transmitted by movements of the eye. You told me a joke. It was the one about the prisoners exchanging dirty moonshine recipes. I told you the one about the 3 bears in the outhouse. Then you told me the one about the dentist with the rude prosthetic. We had to leave the room. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... When I met you, when we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows. And we grew and filled in, but we did that all together. Ezra, sure he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system, our chemistry? Interesting that they use the word system, seeing as they're robots. But also chemistry, because they're robots. We stepped outside into the warm night air. There was a horse tied up in the parking lot. You wanted to go find him some food. We wandered between some low houses and came out onto an empty street. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but What? You listened to them without me? You're at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free. Oh, okay. Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distorted a little and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of guitar. We stepped into a 24-hour convenience store. I remember the radio was playing some old Patsy Cline, right? Or was it Connie Smith? The clerk was reading one of those conspiracy/celebrity gossip/Bigfoot sighting newspapers. You bought a small bag of carrots for the horse. The horse ate the carrots, slowly and glumly. They're beautiful animals, horses. Everyone seems to agree. I think it's because they always look so sad. Speaking of, like, gas station/convenience store food, like, was it last week? It was last Friday was hot dog day at our work, and they brought in hot dogs for everyone in the office, and they were hot dogs from 7-Eleven, which normally I feel like I wouldn't trust a hot dog from a 7-Eleven. But I will say that in reality, it wasn't that bad of a hot dog. I was very surprised because it wasn't the best hot dog I'd ever had. I think the best hot dog I've ever had is from Costco, but definitely not what I expected from a 7-Eleven hot dog. So, if you ever go to 7-Eleven, try out the hot dog. See what you think. I feel like if you're ever going to get anything from 7-Eleven, the hot dogs are probably pretty safe. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like if I get something from 7-Eleven, it's probably going to be a Slurpee. How hard is it to mess up hot dogs? I guess so. I mean, it's just, they're already technically cooked, I guess. You just have to, keep them warm. I just had Costco hot dogs the other day. I love a Costco hot dog. Those are so good. My grandma, she likes Costco hot dogs too, but she is like a relish fiend. It's like she's eating hot dog with her relish. That's how much relish she puts on her Costco hot dogs, and she loves it. And I like relish, but I couldn't eat that much relish. I think the meme is that they sit there for days. Oh, well, thanks a lot, Proto. Now I'm just thinking about that. I really hope the hot dog I ate didn't sit for days. I also haven't had a Slurpee in forever, but I feel like if I wanted to have a some kind of Slurpee or slushie or something, I'd probably go to Sonic, because I do love a nice frozen Sonic drink. Yeah, I'm all about the condiments too, but I like a moderate amount of relish. They're mass ordered? Yeah, probably. Never had Sonic? Do you live in a place where there is a Sonic nearby? I feel like they're mostly in the South. Sonic has good hot dogs. I've never had Sonic hot dogs. I do like their corn dogs. I really like their corn dogs and their onion rings and their mozzarella sticks. But their sandwiches, they're kind of subpar. There's a Sonic right by the school I work at. Oh, just never had it. Definitely like go during happy hour from like 2 to 4. Half off drinks. Just get a huge Route 44 slushie. It's the best. It's definitely not the worst. Like, I mean, for their drinks, I think that, like, I wouldn't recommend their food. I would recommend like their little appetizers and their drinks, but not their actual food. I had Whataburger for the first time when you were in Dallas a couple weeks ago. You know, I live in Texas, and I think I've only had Whataburger once. So, am I actually Texan? It's not In-N-Out, but it was tasty. I can't even remember like what Whataburger is like to compare the two. But I do love In-N-Out. I love animal style double double from In-N-Out. It's my favorite. Chili cheese dog is a guilty pleasure, but their premium hot dogs are good if they're still doing them. From Sonic. I know, Proto, I'm so sorry. I'm not a true Texan. I'm a fake Texan. I don't have any Texas pride. From way up north, we don't get any of the good stuff here. What is the best, like, fast food place in the north that's, like, typically only in the north? I've never really been up north. I visited New York City once, and that's about it. But, like, you don't really go visit chains in New York City, you know? You don't know? Not gaga over Whataburger, but I've still had it tons. Seattle has a chain called Dick's, and it's amazing and super cheap and fast. What kind of food is it? Like burgers? Like your typical like fast food burger? Pretty localized. Yeah, okay. Trying to think like what else do I love down here? There's this place I think I've looked up where their locations are, and they're primarily like in Texas and Colorado. But my favorite like Tex-Mex taco place is called Torchy's. So good. Their queso, so good. I had Dick's at like 2 a.m., but I think it's pretty good. I mean, if it's good at 2 a.m., it's got to do something. Yeah, I think they do have quite a few locations in Colorado. But they have like a taco of the month, which they kind of rotate, and it's like a unique taco that is only sold for that month. I always make sure to get a taco of the month. And then Torchy's. Their little like logo is a little devil baby. But their like official menu tacos that I kind of rotate through. I love the one called the Ranch Hand. I love the one called the Trailer Park. And I love the one called the Democrat. And you can also get your tacos trashy, which means they put queso on the tacos. Oh my goodness. So good. Some of their tacos, though, I don't know how y'all are with like spicy food, but some of their tacos do come with this stuff they call Diablo sauce. And that's like an extremely spicy sauce. So if you're brave enough, go for it. But I always make sure there's no Diablo on mine. Got Torchy's a few years ago, and I always want to order everything on the menu. Yeah, same. It all sounds like so good. I've had a taco there that was like a chicken and waffles taco. So it was like the tortilla on the outside, and then in the taco was a waffle and like fried chicken and then like maple syrup on it. And it sounds kind of weird, especially like putting it in a tortilla, but it was actually pretty good. And then the other one that the two other ones that were like tacos of the month that I think about a lot, there's one called the Tokyo Drifter, I think. It has like I forget what kind of meat they put in it, but it has like a sweet and sour sauce and like wonton strips in it and like some kind of like slaw that they put on it, and it was also really good. And then the other one, I only had this one once, and it was around Christmas time, but it was like a Christmas taco, and it had like lamb and like a pomegranate sauce and like goat cheese on it, and that was wild. And it had like not pomegranate, it was like a habanero jelly, like a habanero fruit jelly, maybe habanero and pomegranate, I can't remember, but that was also really good. They've got good stuff there. Highly recommend. So if you are in Colorado, look it up and go there and tell me how it is and if it's changed your life, because it changed my life. And I mean, you have to go into it knowing that they're not like authentic, like Mexican tacos. Obviously, it's like a Tex-Mex place, so it's like super Americanized and stuff like that, but it's so good. Okay, enough about food. I'm feeling hungry, and I'm like half convinced to go to Torchy's at 9:30 at night. Except I just looked at all the locations are in Denver. Oh no. Shoot. That's unfortunate. Just like make a little detour. Easy. Make a little detour to Denver real quick. Okay, where were we? We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy, a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress, tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch, and that's what makes it so cool. I went to this like science museum a few years ago, and they had a theremin, and it was like so fun. It was kind of like very awkward to figure out how it worked, because you use your right hand to control the volume, and then your left hand controls the pitch, and since it's like an L shape, you like move it on an axis to like see like what pitch you want. So it's hard like knowing where the pitch was and how to control your volume properly, because I wanted to move like both my hands at the same time, but like theremins are so cool. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looking up and at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not. She was really trying to bury us all in glass. So how do you think we'll swing that? Playing the drum machine live. We'll figure something out. Maybe glue it to the back of your guitar. Oh, yeah, or swap the buttons out for foot pedals. Or put the drums on tape beforehand like Serrano does. Oh yeah, I guess we have a lot of options. Life is full of possibilities, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. All right, well, I have to take off. It's Dream Daddy night. Ooh. Hope you have a good rest of your stream. Thanks for stopping by and chatting. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night, and I hope to see you next time. I'll probably be live on next Monday. So if you want to stop by, I'd love to see you. But if not, no worries. But yeah, have a good rest of your Thursday, and have a good weekend. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Then slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet. The glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. I met a photographer once. One in particular. She even took my portrait. I can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Our passengers, 2 lighter, disembarked at the mail stop by the silo. They couldn't seem to get that old truck started up again, but we managed to roll it off the barge with only a minor scrape or 2. At the last minute, Clara decided to travel with them for a while. Kate and I said goodbye to our friends, new and old, and the mucky mammoth rumbled down the echo. Act 4, Scene 11. Silo of Late Reflections. What's this place like? Dogwood Drive? It's in a small town, or... I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck. Here. Lizette's Antiques, mail order delivery, no return address, shipping address, 5 Dogwood Drive, packing list, and then it's just numbers. Guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes, I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoy the company. I will have to find a bus or a train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or, hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now, only how are we gonna get it up these stairs? It's quite a staircase. Is there another route? A tunnel or something? No way out but up. I guess we could wait for the mammoth to come back around and take us a little further down, but that won't be until late afternoon. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? Nah, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We've got expertise. All right, Cricket, let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. It's quite a description. Not too far off, actually. Oh. Sorry, I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It'll be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there. We did it. Ended Act 4. Moving on. That was a long act. Holy cow. Okay, we've got our mid-act little scene, and then we can move on to the final act. This is called Un Pueblo de Nada. I'm not late, am I? Who is this person? Late for... Oh, sorry. I'm Maya. Right, the traveling artist. Welcome. I'm Emily. I work here. Great. Rita says you're the producer? Oh, did she? I guess so. I do a little bit of everything. Yeah, I know the feeling. You weren't around earlier at the lunch thing? No, I don't live in town. I just come in to work at on the station. Really? It's quite a hike, isn't it? I know some shortcuts. Oh, okay. We better get started. You look busy. No, it's okay. I think we're about ready to start the broadcast. Oh, should I go sit down? Not just yet. Rita does a little intro. Got it. Okay. Quite a crowd in here. Really? There's like 7 or 8 of us, I think? Yeah, well, for this town, I've barely seen anyone all day. Oh yeah, ghost town. Yeah, kind of. Okay, I'll check if Rita's ready. You can just hang out back here somewhere. We'll let you know when it's time to come on set. Great. Thanks for having me. You too. I mean, you know what I mean. I have done this a lot, and it's so embarrassing. And I relive those moments in my memory all the time. And it does not do anything for my anxiety, I'll tell you that. Ugh, why am I so awkward with visitors here? Just used to seeing the same 12 people day in and day out, I guess. A similar thing, kind of to this like U2 thing. This happened a few weeks ago. I was walking into like a gated area, and this person coming out of the gate held the gate open for me, I held the gate open for them, and they were like, thank you, which obviously like I expected, and it was nice, obviously, but for some reason my brain couldn't decide if I should say you're welcome or no problem. So what came out of my mouth was your problem. And keeps me up at night. I was so embarrassed, but like I kind of said it quietly, so I just kind of hope he didn't hear me, and I just kind of went on my merry way, and he went on his merry way, and I hope he didn't realize what I actually said. But because the embarrassment generated from my own brain alone was enough. So sometimes brains just kind of glitch out like that. It's a good time. Makes a good story, at least. Okay, just used to seeing the same 12 people day in and day out, I guess. Oh, whoa, what is this? What? Whoa. Hello? Okay, looks like the ceiling is holding up okay to see usual leaks. Okay. At least the floor is staying dry and my left boot has a hole. I'm not gonna go there yet. I'm gonna like check out stuff. This is kind of cool though. It's a bit disorienting, but like cool. Ben and Bob working on a project. What are they working on? I found that radio in the woods a week or two ago. I cleaned the circuits with rubbing alcohol and left it in the sun. Seemed like it was working okay again, so why are they taking it apart? Hope the neighbors are okay. Miss you, Cross-Eye. Okay, not time to start the show yet. I'm still exploring. Oh, James left a patch wired up on the image processor. Nice. Maybe there'll be time to play with it after the show. Look at all those wires. Slow-mo Crow, keeping an eye on the control board. Keep up the good work, Mo. I hope they pay Mo. Pay him for his service, his time and his service. The video data bank used to be on the other side of the room, and the couch was in this corner. We moved it here where the ceiling is least leaky. It's further from the windows too, so sunlight doesn't bleach the labels. So much of archiving is just playing hide and seek with the weather. Alright, Serrano's here to help with the weather report. That should be cool. Elmo gets a lot more into it when he has some noise to vibe on. Tickle me, Elmo. Okay. Looks like it's time to start. Okay, ready when you are. How does it look outside? Gross. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Saturn is in retrograde. What does that even mean? Yep. Think it'll let up? Guess we'll see what Elmo says. Might pour tomatoes. Okay, in 3, 2. Hi, it's Rita. This is your evening broadcast, 8192. Wow, it's really raining out there. Damn, I can hear it from here. We have a few leaks. Put some pots and bowls underneath them. Thanks, Ron, for lending us your extra pots and bowls. Hope you had a good day despite the weather, although it was really nice earlier, right? Had a good day today. Met a new friend. She's going to join us in about a minute or so. Maybe you saw her earlier around lunch, or if you didn't meet her, then you'll meet her in a minute. Or if you met her already, but you still want to hang out, I'm sure there's plenty that we can talk about. Wow. So this is 8192. Is that right, Emily? What is she talking about? That's a lot of broadcasts. I came in around the 5, so I've only been around for half of them. Back then in the 5s, let's see, I did Night Noise, and we had the Swap Show and the Bird Show. And people were just coming in and dropping off tapes all the time, and now, well, it's just the evening broadcast. But it's not like, I'm not saying we're in decline or anything like that. I love the evening broadcast. I think it was the first show we had on here. Yes. Wait, no. Well, technically, it used to be the morning broadcast. Oh, and then that drama with the jumping jacks lady. Till the town council decided to block out the mornings for the exercise show. Yeah, so it's the spine of the station. Maybe it's the heart? Or is it the skin? Whatever part of the WEVP body do you think this is? Why don't you come on by and tell us about it? We're going to be here for another 30 minutes or so. Or if you don't want to be, or if you don't want to brave the storm, you can always give us a call. Same number as always, 270-216-5556. Now, is this a real number? The one that they gave us on the pamphlet that we had in an inventory was a real number. So I'm going to call it real quick. See if it goes anywhere. I hope it's not some random person's number.
Thanks for calling. Well, I guess we must be in the middle of a special broadcast, or we're playing a tape, or if it's really late at night, maybe everyone's just asleep. Maybe you should be asleep. Nah, I won't judge you. Let's see. You can leave a message in a minute, but if you're calling about the party, it's canceled. If you have a tape, just bring it by. You don't need to do the whole thing with the appointment and all the formalities anymore. Actually, we haven't done any of that stuff for a while. If you're calling to report a bear sighting, sit tight and it will probably go away on its own. For any other emergency, just be cool. If you're calling about the free egg, check that number. You dialed an extra 5 somewhere. If you're from somewhere far away and think about visiting our little town, you probably want to check in with the Bureau of Secret Tourism first for some travel tips. Their number is 270-301-5797. Then you can leave your contact information on the corner of Mother and
It's breaking up a lot.
2 large pine trees where start your hike, just follow the power line. Anyway, if you're calling for some other reason, you can leave us a message and we'll do our best to listen to it. I mean, we'll at least listen to it, right? It's the least we can do.
I didn't want to leave a message. I don't know what I would say as a message, so I'm not going to leave a message. But I do like that these numbers are like real numbers that you can call, and it's like game related. I think that's so fun. Okay, so we're gonna start with a tape. This is an old one. It's one of mine, but maybe you haven't seen it. Yeah, it is like a really nice touch. I don't think I've ever like experienced another game or a show or a book that like has something like that in it. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and I almost wish like, I mean, I think it works well with this game and like the vibe of this game and the plot of this game. So I don't think it would work with every single like story in any medium, but if more like books or shows or movies or whatever did this kind of thing, that would be like, I think that would be super awesome and really fun. Or if you've seen it, it's been a while, so maybe you've forgotten. Oh shit. What? She asked me to queue up her tape. Oh, Pueblo de Nada. Where is it? I don't know. It's probably still shelved. I'll find it. Ron silently mouths a thank you. Okay. Where is it? Is it in here? Yeah. Emily scans the shelf of videotapes. Oh, what's this? Emily pulls out an unlabeled tape. To herself absently. Impossible to say. Not much tape in there, though. Old bumpers. Someone should come in here and label all these. Should put this all in chronological order. Although I guess it's hard to remember sometimes the order of things. And some of these tapes were made at the same time, or we started one video and then started another in the middle and came back later, and time is out of joint. It's like sweeping a beach. Oh, wait a minute. Something fell behind the shelf here. Emily pulls a grimy tape case from behind the shelf. Gross, it's damp. She opens the case, it's empty. Ralph borrowed it for his screening, so it's probably with the others. Here. Aunt Connie reframed Bare Waist Studies, Death of an Airfield. In Pueblo de Nada. Aha. What would you all do without me? Cue up Rita's tape now. Here you go, Mo. Hold off playing this until Rita's done setting it up. Thanks, babe. Mo, you're the best. You're the real MVP. Ready when you are, Rita? Some people that lived here a long time ago, before the company town, before the airstrip, like 100 years ago. So, okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Ready, Emily? Let's go. I wonder what Maya thinks of the doc. This is cool. Have you seen it before? Is she being genuine right now? Just making small talk? Honestly, Makes me kind of sleepy. I know what you mean. I used to date a filmmaker. He worked in a similar style. Slideshow gothic. He did stuff for the History Channel, like really dry shows about war. The banality of the trenches. It's not a bad way to learn about history, though. She did a lot of research for this tape. The People of Nothing. I still have a few of those worn-out notebooks they left. I guess that guy from the university took the rest. What did he say he was working on? Oh, right. The Archive of Utopian Thought. Some big preservation project, I guess. So now the People of Nothing are on a shelf somewhere and here on this tape. It is history, right? Or is it just a story? Seems kind of sad now. Guess it's kind of a memorial. Those are always sad. A memorial to the people who used to live here. Is there even a difference? Although, now the tape is just here on a shelf. Every once in a while we dust it off and it shuffles around the airwaves again like an old dog. Sorry, did I say something wrong? Oh, no. I'm sorry, I just have some weird shit going on in my head tonight. You know what I mean? Sure, it's okay. Sorry, I spaced out. Don't worry about it. You should... Oh, should I go sit? Yeah, it's almost over. Next up is Maya's interview. So, where are you staying tonight? Here in town? Oh, good. Yeah. Even before the storm came in, I thought it'd be nice to get some rest before the long hike back to the highway. Ron offered his loft? What? He said I could sleep in his loft. Oh, honey. He's talking about his barn. Ron, no wonder he wants to sleep in your barn. Ron shrugs. It's not haunted. Hauntings aside, it's not a very comfortable barn. I mean, I can sleep anywhere, but I think the last time Bob slept in there, he needed a tetanus shot after. But that's Bob. He's a hypochondriac. Not sure he even really needed it. You'll stay in my place. Oh, thanks. Oh, Ron. Do you need anything? Actually, do you have an extra toothbrush? It'd be nice to sleep under the stars. I think I do, actually, yeah. Oh my god, I've been out of the woods, you know, right? I actually used a twig this morning. I kind of chewed up one end. Oh. No stars tonight, though. I've done that. Really? I'm disappointed. I thought I invented it. Even better, you can chew on some pine needles. It really freshens up your breath. I mean, it's not perfect. Wow, that's roughing it. Just close your eyes and pretend, I guess. Right, exactly. And even then, it's not the same as real toothpaste. Do they know we're rolling? Emily waves to Rita. Oh, okay. Hi. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said, that was from, it's several years old. I can't remember exactly. I enjoyed it very much. Oh, thank you, Maya. What's next? I brought in a tape. Oh, okay. You good? All queued up. I'm gonna check on the boys. The boys? What the hell are they doing? Ben and Bob are seated on the couch, poking at electronic innards of a radio. So then it won't mute while it scans between stations. Okay, because that's where they live, right? No, you just want that constant static noise. Right, the noise. That's where they live. They don't live anywhere, dude. They're ghosts. Okay. Why does it matter where you tune the radio? It's like the soil in your garden. You need rich soil, right? Mashed up, rotted leaves and stuff, like compost. Oh, hey Em, how's the show? Just a normal night. Good. Always fun to have a guest. Something for the shut-ins. Holdovers from the company town. Like that guy who used to do the titles for the Aunt Connie broadcasts. Why is he still here? An act of penance? That's our little town. Stragglers, weirdos, and ghost hunters. The radio crackles as it scans rapidly across the spectrum. Snippets of voices mixed with colored noise and unfamiliar interference patterns. Did you hear that? That was definitely a voice from beyond the grave. Sounded like, I clearly heard dogwood in there. We're looking for dogwood, but I don't think these people know it. Yeah, kinda. Sounded more like frogwood to me. What the hell is frogwood? Man, I don't tell the ghosts what to say. Did you hear that, Emily? I didn't hear anything. Best to be honest, I didn't hear a voice at all. Guess it doesn't matter. The ghost voices don't really come out until you play back the recording later. They only exist in recordings, like a copy without an original. A mirror reflecting something that isn't in the room. Eerie. Like the mounds. The burial mounds here in town? You think they're haunted? No, or sure, probably. But I meant they're like the reflection. The people who made them lived hundreds of years ago. That whole society is long gone, and now we just have these lingering echoes without any trace of context. Yeah, that is kind of eerie. So the ghosts speak and we can't hear it, but the tape recorder can hear it? Is that right? I don't know. Sometimes I think it's more like the recording itself is a ghost. Like that's what ghosts are, recordings of events that didn't happen. When something keeps leaving new marks even after it's gone. False memories. It's an interesting way to think about ghosts. Kind of like that. What's this? Bowls on the floor are getting full pretty quickly. I hope somebody's planning to empty these. Somebody else. Town looks really empty in the rain. I wonder if that's true in cities too, if rain makes it look all empty. I'm trying to remember. What's a big city I've been in when it rained? Oh, Chicago. Downpour on Western Avenue. We took shelter in a gas station. Does it just look empty because everyone stays inside? No. There's something uncanny about a town in a thunderstorm. It's like a reanimated corpse. More leaks. This is not sustainable. Oh, look, who is this? Oh, it's Ron. Ron's big moment. So, okay, Ron, anything that you want to tell us about that tape? Everything on that tape was wild. Really? Everything? Wild stuff indeed. Even the horses? Everything on that tape was wild. Planes used to leave these thick black marks on the runway at our little airstrip. I guess it was from coming in so fast on such a short runway. Or maybe cheap tires, I don't really know. Were the horses wild? I thought there were horses here. Oh, the neighbors? We call the horses here the neighbors. No, I didn't recognize that one. I don't think there are any wild horses anymore. Really? How could that be? Oh, well, they've all been domesticated. Are the neighbors domesticated? We don't own them, no. They're, feral? The tracks would bleach out in the sun, but then the next time it rained, they'd appear again as oily after images on the runway. Now it's been decades since anyone has landed here, but those marks still come out when it rains. Oh, right. in your documentary, you said that the people who used to live here had freed their horses. Exactly, but you can free your pet cat, but it won't turn back into a panther, right? It's kind of haunting, kind of ghost, like Ben was saying. But everything is a ghost around here these days. It's a ghost town with people still living in it against all reason. Despite all the pain in this town's history, the Pueblo de Nada vanished, the airstrip went bankrupt, company town buckled under guilt and exploitation. Even the first people here, all we have left of them is their graves. What about the dogs? Yeah, Ron, was the dog wild? Everything on that tape was wild. Thanks, Ron. I just hope our ending isn't so dramatic. Maybe we can just decline peacefully into irrelevance and then one day stop completely unnoticed. That sounds nice. Didn't look too wild to me. Guess it's a matter of perspective. Not sure I agree, but now it's a time for the weather. Thanks again, Ron. We're hanging along long past our expiration date. Well, the weather should be pretty wild. I can hear it for myself right now. Yeah, getting pretty intense out there. You get storms like this a lot. Honestly, this storm that's happening right now, it sounds like a good old Texas storm. More and more. Right, of course. And then, of course, there's the actual ghost. Alright, here's Elmo with the weather report, and lucky us, we also have Cyrena Cole, who stopped by to add some drama, musically. I hear he's going to be at the Rum Colony later tonight if you need a cocktail after the show. So let's go live to Elmo for the weather report. Oh, is Elmo ready? I should make sure the camera's pointed in the right direction. It's, how do we turn the camera? Cool, my socks are getting wet. I love to have wet socks. Not. Hey. This is so trippy. How did you work out these ratios of oil, water, and dyes? It seems so precise the way he drips them in one little half drop at a time. Look at his head, it's just bobbing. He's really feeling it. Holy moly. I don't think I can even do that. But like, this effect is really cool that they're doing. Must have been a lot of trial and error, just staring at a circle of light on the wall. Drip, drip, drip. Where do you get your supplies, Elmo? Ben has a guy in... Oh wait, you mean the projection stuff? I mail ordered these candle dyes. This other stuff is just mineral oil like you can get at the drugstore. The projector? Somebody just left it here, man. Incredible. Actually, it was that girl who does the pirate video stuff, you know, jamming our signal. Weaver. Yes, Weaver. Yeah, our resident ghost. Ghost, huh? Really think she's dead? Does it matter? What does he mean by that? You don't think it matters? Nah. Alive or dead, a ghost is just what happens when a person is gone but still taking up space. Kind of like that way of looking at it too. Hey, you still think she'll get us tonight? It's about that time, right? That's right, we're about due. Plus, Saturn's in retrograde. So I hear. Not that she keeps a strict schedule, but it's never longer than a month or two between... Oh, what does Mimi call them? I know they're bad for the general vibe around here, but can I be honest? Emily nods in mock gravity. Kind of like it when she busts in and takes over our signal. It's like a log falling on the road. Reminds you that this all used to be trees. interventions. That's what Mimi calls it. It's been going on for a couple years now. Her performances were cool, though. I never saw her perform, but I heard about it. Oh yeah, I saw her do it a few times. I was into it. That first time she jammed our signal and showed up in our broadcast, I didn't know who she was. She'd already disappeared when I came in and took over her old job. She did lectures, right? Yeah, you could say that. I thought of them as storytelling sessions. She talked for hours and shuffled through slide after slide of shapes, numbers, weird constellations. Who knows what any of it meant? Everyone was so excited and confused, and scared a little, on the defensive. They still are. This was her projector. Right. I don't know where she got it, though. Still works really well. I've got a spare bulb at the resale shop, but I haven't had to use it yet. It's strange. I never think of what she's doing as hostile, really. Sounds like Elmo has the same impression. What happened to the rest of her stuff? I bet her slides are still here in the studio. Maybe with the posters? Sherry has all Weaver's old notebooks. I know that. She keeps them in her archive. You know, the big blue filing cabinet with the daisies painted on. Yeah. Anyway, the really hard part is to find these, these two pieces of glass. They have to be paired very precisely. I had to get these from the clock store over in Glasgow. Glasgow. That's where they came from. Clock faces. Thanks for the tips, dude. Anytime, dude. Thanks, Elmo and Serrano. So next we have a selection from the video databank. You're gonna like this one, Maya. This one's about caves. Ooh. Yeah, local caves. We play this one a lot. It's pretty cool. Oh, but we have a phone call. Should we get it now or should we wait? We'll get it now, okay? Rita presses a button on the telephone next to her. Hello, WVP. Hope you all packed a lunch. Sounds like this is going to be a long one. This should be okay if I wander around a bit. Ooh. It's a fun name, Milk Toes. Hey, babe. Click and a cheddar. Did you know, Weaver? Enigmatic caw. Oh, really? Was she nice to you? 5 or 6 chitters and a caw. Well, that's good to hear. Make her sound so normal. Talk to anyone else and it's like she had a second head. One of our little mysteries, like the out-of-towner. Rattles. Oh, really? Did you know him well? Several snaps and 2 rumbling caws. Wow, I had no idea. A couple clicks, each more reassuring than the last. It's terrible what happened to him. Single thoughtful chitter. Right. Justice someday. What a waste. Sad. We'll have fun. I'm gonna see if Jeff is done. A caw and a coo. Huh. No, he's still going. I can come sit here. Sit down with the ghost boys. Why does it keep flashing like that? I have a bad feeling the situation will last, yeah. Lots of leaks going on up here. What's this? Jot down the time and day whenever there was an intervention. Maybe he hasn't been by in a few weeks though. When was the last one? Let's see what the notes say. Oh wait, she just wrote times, not dates. Well, that's not very helpful. They're all at night. I guess that's a pattern. Here's Ron's recipe for mac and cheese. 6 cups of milk? Decadent. That's a lot of milk. Wow, he's still going. This big metal box you could wire up and use to take over our signal. It actually worked. But the thing needed too much power to run. What a car battery could only keep it going for a few seconds. Weaver's broadcast just loops and loops, sometimes for hours. Consolidated Power doesn't pay any attention to this town anymore. They still have us on a strict energy budget. There's no way she's plugged into the grid. He's still going. Oh shit, the line's dead. Phone lines are such a mess up here. Hello? Is that the storm or was it the damn phone lines? Man, they're really flaky. Business as usual. Ron's asleep. He has a really soothing voice. That's Jeff. He's a regular caller. He's asleep. Maya indicates Ron, who has fallen asleep in his chair. Oh, well, let him sleep. Okay, well, let's play the tape. This is Cave Art. It's a classic around here. I'm excited. Looks like Mo's got this one all queued up. Way to go, Mo. Just let Maya enjoy the tape. So if Weaver is a ghost by some agreed upon definition and mechanics, does that mean WEVP TV is haunted? Should we be doing something about that? Are you supposed to, like, have an exorcism or something? I mean, you can't just leave a place haunted. That'd be negligence. I'd miss her, though. I guess there are good ghosts and bad ghosts. Like spiders. Good in the garden, bad in the shower. Loud crashing noise from outside wakes Ron up. What the hell? What was that? I'll check it out. Yikes. Should we go help? Oh no, he's... Oh, the tape is over. What did you think? It was great. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, I like that one. It kind of... That sounded pretty close. Oh no. Power out or just the lights? I don't know, I'll take a look. Maybe a fuse blew on the relay or something. Some scared rat chewed a wire. Abandoned ship. Just kidding. Guess I'll take a look around and see if anything's smoking. Can hardly see anything. Maybe we should call... No, phones are definitely dead now. Little town must seem even more romantic now, huh? If it survives the night. Incredible how dark it gets around here. Of course I can't check because the oscilloscope isn't working. That's the thing about real mysteries. You can't even trust your instruments. Feels like feathers. Oops. Sorry, Mo. How are you holding up? I know you hate the dark. I'm not even gonna think about the video databank. It's fine, right? Surely it's fine. It's fine. This storm just wiped this town off the map. Where would everyone go? Would Elmo disappear into the woods or go down the Echo River and ply his trade there? They have weather down there, right? Wonder if the projector floats. Hope you're not late for your gig, Serrano. Poor thing, she's soaked. Are you having trouble with... Oh, I spoke too soon. Thought your power was out. Yeah, it just came back on. Weird. Good though. You made it in this storm. Oh, I never miss the evening broadcast. To be honest, it's the only time I get to share my work. Wonder how many people even tune in at this point. Is she just reading her poetry to us here in the studio? Sure, of course. That's great. Wow, it's pouring out there. I think they have some paper towels over by the set. Oh, thank you. Well, ready to go? Ready. Now we enter the cultural section of tonight's program. Did you fix it? Just came back on its own. It'll just take a second for the equipment to warm back up and we'll be on the air again. Spooky. It's a disaster out there. The neighbor's barn is basically underwater. Wow. So just completely flooded. Passed Ron on the way in. He's gonna take a look and see if there's anything he can do. Will they be okay? Ron knows what he's doing. He used to be a firefighter. It's a little bit different though, right? I guess. Nikki hands some wet paper towels to Rita. Oh, thanks. Nikki pulls a journal out of her jacket pocket. I brought my work. Oh, good. Nikki reads her poetry. It's a weekly feature of our broadcast. Oh, great. I look forward to hearing it. Yeah, I just hope we can keep going. We lost power a little while before, right? Better get started then. To the out-of-towner. What eagle flew you to your final bed? It was not men who brought you there to sleep. The men who left you bloodied then and fled, had chosen mud and muddy watered creek. Did wild turkeys gobble, dote, and care, and wipe the moss beneath your eyelids clear? Did cardinals pull the twigs out from your hair and wash your hands and feet and trim your beard? When wood ducks dressed you in your resting gown and pigeons fashioned shoes from leaves and bark, who then sewed flowers into a burial crown, the one who made your headdress was a hawk. The men who broke your body, where were they? The vultures stayed home on your funeral day. Emily, look at the monitor. Dude, be quiet, we're live right now. No, we're not. Look. Is it Weaver? It's not our broadcast. And there she is. Elmo was right. What's wrong? It's her, Weaver. Ah, really? Tonight? Sorry about this, Maya. What's going on? Local prankster. She jams our signal every once in a while, whenever the stars align. Prankster? Not the word I would use. So, what do you do about it? Just wait until she's done? Never been able to stop her from jamming us. We don't even know how she does it. We should be back on in a minute, though. Don't worry. That is spooky. Wow. Okay. What a way to end. That's where we're gonna leave it here for the night. Wow. Next time we will start Act 5. Hello, the real Gutierrez. I hope you're doing well tonight. I am about to end, but I appreciate you saying hi and coming in. Let's see if maybe it is a really nice ending to that act. Very spooky. I'm gonna see if someone is live for us to raid, maybe.
Surprise.
Oh,
Get that card out of my face!
thank you for the follow. I appreciated it. Let's see. What if we raid Stacy tonight? She is playing Hollow Knight, doing a randomizer. Yeah, I love that. I love the Nacho Libre follow alert too. It's a good clip. But okay, so we're gonna raid Stacy, doing Hollow Knight randomizer. Let's see. Let's do another little raid message, kind of similar to last night's. Choose an emote that you like. Let's see, what am I gonna use today? I'm gonna use Daniel's love emote. And we'll just do a Kayla raid. So I'm gonna do this for my message, but if you wanna do your own, just spam some cute, fun love emotes, and we'll go say hi to Stacy real quick. And I appreciate you guys. Oh my gosh, my eye is watering. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me for a while. I'll be live again on Monday. We'll start Act 5, the 5th and final act of this game. I'm very excited to see how it goes. And I hope you guys all have a good night and a good weekend. And I will see you guys next time. So let's go ahead and get this raid started. Okay. Cool. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for dropping by. If you're lurking, I appreciate you. If you've been chatting, I also appreciate you. I can't say it more. I really appreciate that you guys have taken your time to come hang out with me. So, yeah. Have a good rest of your evening, and I will see you guys next time. And show Stacy lots of love. Yeah. Talk to you guys later. Good night.
Kayla! Hello! Thank you for the raid! How's it going? What is up? How was your stream? Let me give you a shout out.